Okay, sure, and sure what you're looking at, this is the fake sun. While I am inside of Tracy Banks' apartment number 51, which is located at 408 West G Street in Ontario, California. This is not at Palmdale, the Holiday Inn, where I remained inside of a hotel room where the sun never ceased to be over that building, over that parking lot, and over me as I remained there. So nor could this be the sun that is seen through the first floor window of this apartment. And it's currently 12:15 p.m. because it's here at 7:18 in the morning as well. And also seeing it through the first floor of this this is an apartment, not a hotel. I'm seeing it through this window in this manner is also literally speaking to the scientific impossibility that the demon, that's the identification of the third party that is literally walking themselves into walls and as though they're throwing their body across. That demon that's under a fake sun that I can see through the window of Tracy Banks' apartment at 12:15 in the afternoon, where it's still here, as you've seen, underneath the patio structure of this same apartment building after 4 p.m. And you've seen it also while the Ontario Police, a department full of demons who are also stalking with the demon in apartment 55 after 6 o'clock, 6:27 p.m. This is not the sun, and the fact that you can see it through the window, this is speaking to the evidence of stalking by it, not just the demon above in 55, where that's not sunlight that would stream backwards behind the door and downward. You've seen the same exact pattern of light activity when the fake sun is not even up. In fact, at 6 and 7 o'clock in the morning, this same pattern of engineered light is right here, and that would not be the sun that's possible to be seen as you're seeing it perfectly aimed through this window. None of this is sunlight. So you're looking at engineered light, and what is all sun? You're looking at all these where engineered light is underneath the covered patio, closed blinds, on the inside of a building, streaming backwards behind the television. This is all manner of demonic, okay? And it's also demonic by virtue of my ability to see this light source through. You can see it while I'm on the couch. And then literally while I'm on this couch, as I open and close my eyes, as I document the fact that senior citizens are going to federal prison for engaging in state surveillance, the demons engage in more amplified noise creation. That is the evidence of being monitored. Human beings are monitored by spirits. Those are demonic spirits. And the fact that the government, a department full of demon-possessed criminals or stalkers, when a department is full of those masquerading with badges, as though they have authority under the law and they're stalking you, in fact, they're monitoring you, that's called surveillance. That's what the Ontario Police Department is engaged in, and they do it under a fake sun. In fact, at 12:31 p.m., you've seen them stalking at this apartment complex, while you've seen helicopters flying over me at 12:31 p.m. I also use that time as an illustration showing, for example, there's no sun in San Diego at 1 o'clock, over the San Diego Police Department at 1 o'clock, when I'm looking at it literally through this window where it remains here as I'm standing underneath this same apartment ceiling through this window at 3 and 4 o'clock, and at 2, 3, and 4 o'clock. You've seen it very late. These are demons who are monitoring every move I make. They're also sex offenders. As my panties are down, the demons are still obsessively stalking every move, including while you're physically indisposed. That's a sex offender that's monitoring you. This is what an apartment full of so-called police officers. This is why Mike LORENZ of the Ontario Police Department shall be no more. With regard to exercising authority under the law, the City of Ontario will go without for the betterment of the city and the state, because the department is committed to criminal conduct, including that of a sexual nature, while those that they encourage criminal conduct with, that's why you have a demon, a stalker inside of her apartment, stalking another person. The direct evidence is this impossible light activity. The direct evidence is the fake sun that I can see while I'm physically inside of the same apartment where I'm present at 7:18 in the morning, and after 6 o'clock in the evening, even with daylight savings time. That's literally a scientific impossibility that it would be here, that I could see it in this video as you saw. And you've already seen the evidence. The fake sun remains here well after 12. It's currently 12:20 p.m. This is documentation of what is harassment and terrorism as an entity. And the engineered light, you've seen it appearing. Not only are you looking at a possible light activity, but it shoots horizontally into the building. And this is what you're seeing here. Light is growing on the floor, moving in all manner of directions inside of the apartment, which I continuously capture images. That's called engineered light. It's the direct evidence that state surveillance at a facilitating venue and not private constitutionally protected activity or lifestyles at a private residence is underway. Everybody at Woodside Senior Apartments and Apartments 33 through 64 are going to federal prison. And the demon in 55 and the demon inside of this apartment are engaged in 24-hour surveillance with the government that is represented by the Ontario Police, who are heavily documented, engaged in state surveillance. The corrupt airport, the Ontario International Airport, is stalking. That's also why these senior citizens in the aforesaid apartment units are going to federal prison. This is state surveillance that's designed to work toward the murder and kidnapping of an American citizen. It is federal group stalking and monitoring. It is P.O.C. It's demonic. And everything that's happening in an apartment with regard to the light activity is for the convenience of demons that are stalking you through apartment buildings, all around this apartment and inside of the apartment. They're all stalking, okay? As I fall asleep, as I wake up, as I walk around, as I pull my panties down, as my genitalia is exposed, a population of demons are stalking with noise. That's a terrorizing occurrence as well, for which they're going to federal prison, and the American citizen subject to it is going to be compensated. AVANATH is a sex offender and a group stalker, and they're going to be prosecuted for that which they're profiting off of. The demons at Woodside Senior Apartments and working at Woodside Senior Apartments and coming on to engaging even in business at Woodside Senior Apartments and flying over the sky space of Woodside Senior, they're all engaged in state surveillance. And AVANATH is a group stalker, going to be subject to a prosecution for that. The demon who you've seen in Fart 55, you've seen her on video under the fake sun in the parking lot, crossing path in this parking lot, and impossible light activity moving across the brick wall, which is not the product of any constitutionally protected conduct, nor is it the occurrence of a free citizen who's going to avoid anything other than padded walls in a federal facility or federal prison. She's going to federal prison, though. She's currently walking around in circles. It's called amplified audible activity. While she does so, this is a criminal that's group stalking with all of those that live in relevant position at this apartment complex, where this light source moves as I move. For you to see, like you saw through the window as I'm on the couch, that's real-time movement as I move. You also know that this isn't the sun because it's in the same position as I've captured video at this property at 9 o'clock, 10, 11 in the morning. It's, again, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and this light source in the same manner is present here at 2 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, where demons like the one in 55 is engaging in what is this pacing around in circles. She's moving as I move. That's called monitoring. Neither is that sunlight. And this is what is the ongoing terrorism. My shadow is enlarged in size. You can see it's very faint, but you can see the concentrated light and the entity that is engaged in what is very psychotic. The entity is engaged in what is monitoring movements, monitoring conduct on the internet. This is engineer light that's streaming across the ceiling while a demon is just pacing back and forth. And while the sex offender is monitoring genitalia, you're going to federal prison. You're doing so on behalf of the government while you're engaging in what is the ongoing interruption of quiet enjoyment by an apartment full of senior citizens who do not complain about it, okay? By the police department, by the airport, by the demons that live at the property, you're going to federal prison. You do it on a 24-hour basis for the unlawful purpose of keeping an American citizen under surveillance while that government has no warrant or probable cause, and the entity is doing so under the fake sun. All right, this is ongoing movement of engineered light in a manner that's in conflicting directions, obsessively stalking, and that is P.O.C. All right, the sound of sirens is what is criminal summoning. The fire department's a documented terrorist. The police department's a documented terrorist. And so is American Medical Response. This is in Ontario at 12:25 p.m. The entity's keeping the fake sun at the latest venue I documented was the Palmdale Holiday Inn. You have a community full of demons. They're all obsessively maintaining the same elements of monitoring, just like the sex offender in apartment number 55. And the entity is doing so on an obsessive method, but they're also doing so while federal stalking is underway. And this is impunity. While you hear and see crossing path under a fake sun is indeed P.O.C. That's a population maintaining the elements. That's the same sex offenders of 41. They do the same conduct with the police department at 5 and 6 o'clock in the evening. Walking in and out of their apartment is a part of the pattern of conduct. And this is the demon that's pacing. All right, you've seen her doing so, driving in the parking lot after, under this fake sun, and the engineer light moves across the building. Okay, these are the ones that are also going to federal prison. She's inside of apartment 55 and she walks out while the Ontario police, that they're being documented, they provide evidence to the federal government as to why they will be disbanded. 55 and the police crossing path at the same time is pursuant to their knowledge of being addressed in this video, and the mentally ill, demon-possessed group stalkers engage in this very pattern, exhibiting impunity while they group stalk in plain. You're aware of the condition because this is the fake sun that's present, as I've documented, at like I've stated, in the morning and also in the afternoon. It's still here at 2 o'clock, 3, 4 o'clock. The Ontario police group stalking under the same fake sun, the evidence of what is demon possession and malicious conduct by a community. This is also the practice of witchcraft. This is going to be prosecuted as criminal surveillance. And this is the demon with license 5 WUB 715, group stalking with the demons on Vine Avenue. This fake sun is over me at 714 North Vine at 9 and 10 o'clock in the afternoon. This is all manner of what is a scientific impossibility. You just witnessed the Ontario police demonstrate why, again, for under Derek Williams and now under Mike LORENZ, why they will indeed be facing disbanding, why AVANATH Communities LLC will indeed be subject to civil and criminal prosecution for group stalking, and while the entity will be subject to federal prison. All the demons in units 33 through 64 are engaging in that state surveillance. And this is a community that's also engaged in sexual violence. They are still engaging in the way that you see now, the impunity. That's the same impunity exercised while the third party who you see walking by is not the cause for the sound of the cracking ceiling. She does so 24 hours a day. She calmly crosses path, engaging in state surveillance, exhibiting why she and demons in that same position will never receive federal housing or state housing benefits while they're engaged in state surveillance with the police, just like you just saw, never capable of living in a community where they can engage in 24-hour surveillance, threatening the life of an American citizen with impunity in the manner in which that you just saw. And while the Ontario International Airport, the Ontario Police Department, the entity engaging in what is, in other words, the elements of monitoring with the means of the very municipality, will be subject to what is a relentless prosecution in the same way that they are relentlessly group stalking. So I just want to be clear. You're looking at crossing path in the sky space while the cloud path is over the fake sun. That remains here after 5 p.m. and that same police department is on video group stalking in a manner and with simultaneity, again, to what they know I'm doing on a communication device amongst the people with whom they're incriminating while group stalking on video, with knowledge of the fact that you have been mentioned in evidence, and it is imprudent and incriminating as opposed to maintaining the appearance of any sort of normalcy or protect the conduct under the Constitution while you do so. All right, this is P.O.C. That's, again, 5 WUB 715. She's a sex offender engaging in that same conduct as I document on podcast while my genitalia is exposed. The city of Ontario is monitoring a genitalia. That's a sex offense committed by an entity that uses helicopters to monitor genitalia of a woman who has not granted consent to that. That's a sexual violence by an entity that is group stalking with senior citizens such as this demon in 55 who never takes a break. She never ceases to engage in it. And group stalking, and this is pacing while demons cross path under a fake sun together. That's P.O.C. And it's also federal stalking. You're looking at demonic activity. All right. This is, again, the pattern of conduct at Woodside Senior Apartments under a fake sun that's nowhere near being over the hotel room window, for example, at Palmdale's Holiday Inn, where the entity kept that fake sun literally over the entrance of that Palmdale Road Holiday Inn in Victorville. As I captured video at 4 o'clock, at 5:23 p.m., at 8:49 in the morning, just to name a couple of examples where you will see the light source that would not possibly be at the same location at Woodside. You would not be able to see the sun through this window in the way that you're seeing while I open then the door. And this is also not the sun as you are aware of them. These same demons are group stalking under this light source that moves as I move in this parking lot, okay? This is the entity that is subject to federal prison as you're witnessing impunity. Alrighty, this is P.O.C. That's AVANATH capital management. The demons that work at the property, the household representing AVANATH is group stalking with the police, with the very same community. In impossible light activity, this same community exhibited a demon possession and acted with impunity while they drive in a parking lot. An impossible light that you see inside of Tracy's apartment is moving across brick walls outside. It's not the product of sunlight, and nor is walking on the sidewalk going to create cracking in the ceiling. That's a psychopath and a sex offender, and she's going to federal prison. This is shared by the demons in units 33 through 64. They're all going to federal prison. With the police department that's going to be disbanded, group stalking with them, while you see a helicopter flying higher than a fake sun that remains over this same exact strip of land at the apartment complex. An engineer light is both inside of the apartment and outside. Okay, this is again the foolishness of idiots that stalk under a fake sun. That's removing a corrupt airport, a corrupt police department, and a senior citizen full of demons who are indeed group stalking. All right, this represents Amazon. You know that they're group stalking. They're walking in engineer light. They're walking under a fake sun, delivering to demons is the P.O.C. in California and in Ontario. This is again the pattern of conduct where the entity is maintaining a population. It's 12:31 p.m. And this is the entity that is in doing so with knowledge that is being documented. And so the demon possessed, these are the mentally ill, the undiagnosed means of what is mental illness while a population is engaging in the phenomenon of group stalking. This is exposing public corruption that's pacing on Vine Avenue. Remember, they're doing the same thing at 9 o'clock in the morning where that fake sun is over me at Vine Avenue, and you're looking at the impossible that it's here over the same apartment complex, not only after the documented sunrise here, but the fact that it's over the same corrupt police department at 10 o'clock in the morning when I'm at Vine Avenue. This is again concentrating, recognizing, targeting, and a population that's targeting through maintenance and that an engineer light. This is not the product of sunlight, nor is this the sun that is still here at the end of the day. This is P.O.C. and the demon comes outside to group stalk in the same way that she's monitoring my genitalia in the bathroom. All right, that's the demon driving away, and this is the demon crossing path. That's a demon stationed in the parking lot. They're all in there. Those are demons that are pacing on Vine Avenue, and the demon inside of this apartment, okay, engaging in group stalking for years. All right, this is the senior citizen community. There is no respect of persons, no age limitations. You're currently seeing the state acting directly and indirectly while state surveillance remains ceaselessly underway. And the mentally ill community that is group stalking is showing why they will not be missed by society. And it is for the betterment of that society that they are put away in the facilities where they are going. This is documentation of impunity, and doing so while they are monitoring the very evidence. It's 12:32 p.m. This is where the entity is keeping engineer light inside of the apartment as well. So remember the environment outside, and then you're looking at the environment that is inside of the apartment. None of it is a product of sunlight. All right, and then you have the evidence of the entity keeping the fake sun rising and setting it at Alvarado Gardens in Los Angeles, while LAPD engaged in the same system that you see the city of Ontario, which is the state of California, engaging in. All right, again, it is 12:33 p.m. This is P.O.C. Yes, I'm inside. That's activity creation and engineered light. Exercising no authority, where the engineered light, where a fake sun, where a police department is stalking, that's a threat to your life. That's also mental illness exposed while you're looking at a population engaging in group stalking with those whose name you know. That's documentation of ongoing impunity. All right, not worried about the ongoing disruption to quiet enjoyment while the demon above in 55 is group stalking, but while I am documenting, enforcing my rights, and protecting myself from the people of the state, you're looking at what was a means of and what continues to be a means of group stalking. It is currently, again, 12:35. Yeah, 12:34 p.m. This is where the fake sun is remaining in the same exact position, lower than the patio at 2 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And none of it is the basis of what is the engineered light that you've seen outside. You see it on the patio outside, and you're looking at a light that's appearing underneath the patio, appears in her bedroom through windows, dynamic engineered light on the bedroom inside of the wall. On the bedroom wall. This is all manner of P.O.C. So this video documentation is showing an entity that is monitoring the evidence, and they just engaged in the system of group stalking on video for you again, as they are aware of it. That's the mentally ill. That's, in other words, spiritually speaking, you're witnessing Satan act out his system amongst the population, and it's the demise of the city of Ontario. And the senior citizen community is engaged in that same system in concert with the neighborhood. It's not just the demons in units 33 through 64 that are going to federal prison. The entire Woodside Senior Apartments is a group stalker. There are commercial actors, which are represented by AVANATH, for example, and the demon that is group stalking, delivering to a group stalker, monitoring you in doing so. This is for, you've seen the airlines of the Ontario International Airport group stalking. You've seen Amazon group stalking. You can replace the name of Amazon to understand what the state is doing, while you saw a third party delivering a package to a third party for the criminal purpose of monitoring. And that's what's happening amongst the scientific impossibility of engineer light. All right. And there is nothing other than what is legally relevant. The elements of monitoring, and the federal government can readily identify that. The entity is doing so. Remember, the police department and the population, the sex offender went from running around in circles, which she's doing. I'm documenting on a 24-hour basis where she's never ceasing to engage in stalking me with noise. And she represents the people. That's the state, who you saw flying over in helicopter. The state is monitoring through such mentally ill sex offenders who engage in that same surveillance while your genitalia is exposed in what should be a private space. And since the state is engaged in unlawful surveillance, the state is a sex offender and is doing so through such demons who went to the extent to walk outside because the demon knew that I was aiming a camera outside. That's showing obsession, as opposed to just casually and coincidentally walking by you in engineer light under this phenomenon of the light source that's hovering down over the roof of the building, in the same way that the Ontario International Airport hovers over these buildings. All right, this is P.O.C. It is currently, again, 12:36 p.m. at Woodside Senior Apartments. All right, you're going to look at the body of evidence showing what this apartment complex, meaning what the state of California has been engaged in at Woodside, which is nothing other than a venue where the statewide pattern of conduct is shown. Where I am in the city of Las Vegas and I'm exiting at 12:08 p.m., there is no sun that I'm going to see through this window while I'm on the couch inside of the apartment. While I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada, checking out a Courtyard by Marriott at 12:08 p.m., and I compare that to the same time at the La Quinta Inn in Hesperia, there's no sun that you're going to see through this window while I'm inside of this apartment and capturing and then opening the front door. I'm not moving anywhere. So understand where I'm at in Las Vegas at the same time. Understand when I'm living in Alvarado Gardens. Understand what the entity is aware of as you document. And then with the straight face, this is very highly imprudent. And this is prosecutorial suicide while a police department and a population just engaged in group stalking on video, which is what the mentally ill entity, the mentally ill are psychopaths who are demon possessed. And that is exhibiting obsession and with regard to woeful unpreparedness for prosecution. They did so under a scientific impossibility. There's no sun over anywhere in Las Vegas, let alone could that have been the sun, in other words, at 12:08 p.m. in Las Vegas, Nevada, at Dean Martin Courtyard by Marriott, where I am showing you remain stationary over me, not just at Woodside in a manner that's incongruent and impossible to naturally occur, but over me at Woodside, while you saw a whole population exhibit impunity. The impunity that a community exhibits while it's keeping you under surveillance for the purpose of murdering and kidnapping you is noted, duly noted with regard to the prosecution of that community. You will remove every police department, every fire department, every community member with regard to the ongoing determination to threaten the life of an American citizen, whether you know the demon's name, all right? Whether you know that government actor's name, whether you know the names of the demons in positions of leadership, such as Mike LORENZ, who was over a department full of sex offenders and demons and stalkers, they will be removed. All right, and that is what justice requires. Again, license 5WUB715 is a sex offender engaged in 24-hour surveillance. She crosses path under a fake sun and engineer light, a light source and engineer light that's not the product of sunlight, nor could this naturally be the environment when you're looking at it hovered over the demons of apartment number 41. That's AVANATH, who's group stalking, walking in and out of that apartment, having a package delivered to them, group stalking with the rest of the demons walking on the sidewalk. AVANATH represents a commercial actor who is making money, profiting, which is unlawful and against public policy. They will be civilly and criminally prosecuted, while I'm reminding you, for example, of the light source that's over me in the same manner in an entirely different state. 12:08 p.m. And then I drove around. I'm still at this time in Las Vegas, Nevada in August of 2024, driving around, capturing groups stalking by the Las Vegas Metropolitan in vehicles, the people of the state in vehicles, while a fake sun is not stationary over Ontario at Woodside Senior Apartments. It is in motion remaining over me, the evidence of a population stalking you, including while you stay present inside of one apartment, and they're maintaining audible activity and pacing all around you, which is what you just saw in the sky space and on the sidewalk in front of me and on the parking lot and on Vine Avenue, where you have seen the evidence surrounding them. the fake sun over Vine Avenue where those demons are monitoring a woman, the fake sun over me when I'm at the same property instead of driving around to Upland and ultimately to Hesperia to La Quinta Inn. I stayed here. And the light source did not continue us in a direction west. The light source is contrary to that, over the same property where I'm also documented on video at 7:18 in the morning, rising. This is not sunlight that's reflecting off of the window outside, flat onto the sidewalk, and also inside where you're seeing it appear and disappear on the floor, and also inside above the front and behind the back door, and also remaining stationary, aiming all manner of engineer light in all directions inside of the apartment. That is the imprudent behavior of criminals that are exhibiting lawlessness and they're masquerading as police departments. The Ontario Police Department is over. Okay, the body of evidence where they have engaged in, not only are they stalking on video, they've engaged in kidnapping with the same exact entity who you see exhibiting a false sense of, a misguided sense of concern, where they are surrounded by evidence. That's exhibiting obsession. All right, where the entity is engaging in this manner of surveillance together. It is currently, again, just to provide you what is the ongoing reminders of the evidence that sits here. But again, the screen recordings that I have, the body of evidence speaking to where I'm at the same time. This is why you document the supernatural. And the supernatural is revealing a criminal system by a corrupt entity. It is federal group stalking and monitoring. And it is also simultaneously exposing what you need to know, what is not merely a horror flick. It is the revealing of demon possession. And the demon possessed are very mentally ill, and the ongoing exposure of their condition and their criminal conduct is shown through the public safety concern that's created that you are aware of when the police is openly group stalking on video, like the Ontario Police have been doing for years, when the population is openly group stalking on video, as the people of the state have engaged in for years, and no one is mistaken about exactly what you're looking at now. All right, it is 12:41 p.m. and this is P.O.C.